We're getting your reaction to this Dunleavy press conference yesterday. And I want to be sure everybody gets that what I was throwing out there a few minutes ago, it is a question. It's not a take. It's a curiosity that I have after listening to this. It's not news that the Warriors are in a pickle. I guess the question is, what do you think Mike Dunleavy and Joe Lacob really want in their heart of hearts? In their heart of hearts, because we do have to remember something. I think it's always important to remember this. Yes, they work for and are the Warriors. Therefore, do they appreciate Steph Curry more than anybody? Absolutely. At the same time, they are not viewing this the same way we do. It's a different lens, in my opinion. We are fans. We are so emotionally attached to Steph Curry. It matters like crazy to us that he does not spend another day in another uniform. I'm not saying that doesn't matter to Joe Lacob and Mike Dunleavy. I really think that matters. But for example, Bob Myers, he did say the same things when he was the GM of the Warriors. And now he works for the Sixers.
Right.
So he probably doesn't give two bleeps where Steph Curry finishes his career now. He probably would like him to do it in Philadelphia. So there is a much more sort of cold, hard business reality here that Joe Lacob and Mike Dunleavy face on a daily basis with regard to Steph Curry's finish. And if he truly doesn't know if Steph Curry has more than half a season in him, and he's being faced with another 2 years after this one at max money, do you think Mike Dunleavy, who's already branded as a little bit cold-hearted sometimes, you really think Mike Dunleavy in his heart of hearts is like, man, the most important thing, violin playing, is that Steph Curry gets a video at the end of all of this, and all of the fanfare. We probably won't win very much, but 3 more years of hoping that his knee can play half of a year. I got curiosity as to whether or not that's actually what is activating Mike right now.
Well, it's not only about Mike, and in fact, it's not really about Mike at all. It's about Joe. And as you were laying that out there with tremendous virality, and look forward to seeing that on social media later tonight, I do think that there are 2 different agendas that are potentially in play. So if you're Joe Lacob and you are the principal owner, but you represent the ownership group, the idea of not having Steph Curry is probably going to be bad for your bottom line because he is box office. The other side of it is what Mike Dunleavy said, where, 43 games. I mean, I hope we can get more than 43, but if you only get 43, that hurts the box office, but it also hurts the ability for you to be a good team. And Mike Dunleavy's job is not to make Joe Lacob money. That's part of his job, but his job is to get a good team out there that can compete. And so if Steph is not in a spot where he can be healthy, and yet he's box office, maybe there's a little bit of a divide where ownership is thinking, we got to keep this guy as long as possible because we always sell out, and margaritas are $26 a pop for top shelf. You get that little Cadillac margarita. We can't afford to not have him.
Their hands are completely tied. So, of course, they're going to do what Steph Curry wants to do. But I just thought it was very careful chess to go out yesterday and be like, look, this is all up to Steph. It's all up to Steph. But then to follow it up with what sounds like, fingers crossed that he can play. And then, you know what I mean? And then the next breath, it's like, if he wants a max extension, he gets a max extension for 2 more years. Ooh, that's rough. Maybe this is exactly what I'm asking. If Steph Curry were to go to Mike Dunleavy and Joe Lacob and say, I'd like out, do you think Mike Dunleavy, on his way home in his car by himself, would be crying or smiling?
Probably crying.
You think?
It depends on how it goes. And so Steph Curry's got, this year? That's it. 1 more year on his deal.
I mean, for the moment.
Right. So you get to August 29th. Shout out my daughter's birthday, and hopefully a present for her will be that Steph signs. But you get to that date, and the 2 sides agree that we're going to wait And so Steph gets into November, December, January, and the Warriors are struggling and he's unsigned. Then I think it becomes a little bit of a challenge because are you just going to let him walk for nothing at the end of the year?
No.
You probably wouldn't. So if Steph gets to that spot and he's like, you know what, guys, this is not working here anymore. I do kind of want to try it somewhere else. So how do we make this work for both sides?
See, that to me, that does not feel like a plausible scenario, even though I understand in the business world it exists. And what you brought up, Steph leaving and the Warriors getting nothing for it at the end of the year. That would represent the two sides ending up somehow really upset with one another, not communicating, not talking with one another. Steph Curry turning his back on an organization that he has openly said he loves, wants to finish with, and wants to leave in a really great spot once he's done. So those two things don't add up to me. I don't think the Warriors are worried about that specter unless something goes really wrong. In other words, if Steph did want to leave, he'd tell them. He would tell them. What I'm asking, though, is underneath the covers, is that what the Warriors actually want? It's easy for him to say, boy, if he came to us, we would hate it. We'd hate it, but we would do it. And I'm not saying that he's disingenuous, but I'm asking because I am curious. When you have two quotes right next to each other, boy, this is up to Steph. We want him to stay forever, and I believe Mike on that. But your very next comment is this. This to me sounds a completely different bell.
With the knee, other injuries, and then his age, it's definitely something we have to manage. My hope would be he plays more than 43 games last year. I hope he plays more than that this year. We expect that, but you can't, you take nothing for granted. So it's on the radar. It's something we have to be mindful of, and this thing's delicate. It's delicate for him, but it's delicate for the rest of the guys on our team. Injuries move a lot of the needles in this league in terms of success and who wins and who loses, and you can't run from that. It is what it is, and we got to do our best to try and stay healthy, build depth, and hope for the best.
I know I sound a little cynical right now.
It's on the radar, is what he said.
I know I sound a little cynical right now, but I don't. That quote makes me not nervous. That's not the right thing. I think we get the reality that we're in. Steph called it a new normal. But when you listen to Mike say that, if you took the name out of it and just said, describe this player, and he said that, would you in the next breath be talking about a max 2-year extension for $130 million?
But you can't take the name out of the comment because the name in the comment, he's worth more than $70 million a year.
Of course he is, but Mike Dunleavy and Joe Lacob have a team to run. And what they're trying to do is build a winner. And if you describe someone that way, that does not sound to me like the centerpiece of a winning organization. And that's what a max contract is.
Well, then let's play it out because So you give him the max on August 29th, and you're still worried about the knee, and he comes out and has another year like he had, and you're a lottery team again, and you're back in there. Well, your team's not going to get better, and he's a year older, and now you have this sunk cost, but what are you going to do about it? If Steph wants to retire as a Warrior, then he retires as a Warrior.
Of course, right.
So if you don't give him the extension, then he plays this year, and it's okay. He played 43 games, and he was good when he played. But now, we've determined that you're only worth about $31 million a year.
Okay, let me throw two other things
and
at
he
you.
leaves and goes elsewhere, and you get nothing for it.
No, he's not going to do that.
But he's not going to just play it out and then take $30 million.
I don't know.
I don't believe that he will.
Well, hang on though. Many would I think fire back with, hold on, Steph. At age 39, 40, which is what we're talking about, because it would be after this year.
Yep.
If you so badly want to win, as you've stated, then why wouldn't you take 30 instead of 65 or 40 or 50 or hell, LeBron James just took a minimum. Jalen Brunson did this and got a ton of credit for winning a ring. Now that's different because Brunson's in his prime.
And he never had one. Steph's got 4.
Yeah. But so two options is what I'm throwing out here. Is Dunleavy with that quote, is he greasing the wheels for the idea of maybe we're not talking about a max extension? Maybe we figure out a different number. Or the other thing would be what we played for you earlier this week. And Grandy, maybe you can grab this one. Remember the Windhorst from earlier this week where Windy suggests that the Warriors go to Steph Curry and say, be a partner with us in building your next winner. And how we do that is don't sign the extension. Just wait. Let's all wait. And then at the end of the year, we've actually got your money that we also can, in theory, float out there to the world as far as acquiring you help. And then if we get there and you want 65 mil, then you get 65 mil. But if you want to do 40 because that allows us to go get you another teammate, we can do that too. That was the suggestion.
And that's basically what Draymond did. Draymond opted out and said, you got 3 weeks, and then
correct.
If you don't do anything, then I'm opting back in or whatever. You're going to give me that contract. So Steph could play it the same way and say, yeah, I'll play for 20 if you can fill up $45 million worth of guy. But if you don't do anything again, Mike, well, then I'm going to want that 65.
And Mike would say, no problem.
Right.
I mean, that was the implication. Here's Windy on the Hoop Collective podcast through ESPN.
A couple of things. First off, we talked about it earlier. Will Draymond Green get a no trade clause? My guess would be, maybe it's even done by the time this pod comes out. My guess would be no, because they don't want to set the standard they're going to give it. But Draymond's going to get a 1-year deal. Steph's on a 1-year deal right now. Podziemski is on a 1-year deal. He can get extended. Jimmy Butler's on a 1-year deal. If the Warriors want, and frankly, they could make Steph a partner in this, they could say, Steph, hey, man, you can have the 130 whenever you want it. But what if we just chill on it and see what happens next summer? Because that is dumping 100-something million. That would be all-time record salary cap space. It would be something like around 100 million in cap space.
Are there any big-time free agents available next summer?
I know that Jokic said he's going to be a Nugget for life, and I'm not going back on it. But, until he signs, he's going to be a free agent.
So that's the implication. Do you go to Steph Curry and say, let's just wait? And by the way, the reason I understand this to be a risk on Steph's part, what if the runners need dogs the whole year again? Now what's the conversation? But I'm sure the Warriors, being who they are, never get this twisted. I know we all get mad at the standings. The Golden State Warriors have been a very classy place. They treat people well. They do things the right way. There's no way in hell they're going to play games with Steph Curry.
Well, look what they just did with Draymond Green.
Yeah.
You opt out, we're going to try like heck. I'm making cold calls, Draymond. I'm a cold call the snot out of this league, and darn it, we fell short, and we had a deal, handshake. Here's your option back. You get to opt right back in. It'd be the same thing with Steph Curry. You're right.
Yeah. So they say to Steph, look, you want the 130, you get the 130. Period. We'll put it in ink, but we don't have to do it yet. We could wait till then because maybe we can build you a winner if you take 50. And would you want to do that? And if you don't want to do that and you want the 130 right now, we do the 130 right now. But can we sell you on the idea of flexibility around you? Because what we're trying to do is still win with you on the roster. Could we sell you on that idea? But also in the back of their mind, they're like, plus we don't trust your body. We were not going to say that, and we're not going to play with your money because of it. But information at the end of this year might be very different than it is right now.
It might, but if I'm Steph and I enter into this idea, and I don't think that it's wild that, if Steph wants the extension now and they say, you know what, let's just wait. But I'll tell you what, we're going to give you, no matter what happens this year, at the end of the year, we're going to give you 2 and 100. Even if runner's knee comes back, or if you slip on Lake Montejunas again and hurt your MCL, or the ankles come back, or any possible thing that could happen, we're still going to do right by you and give you 2 and 100. Like if they came to him with that, I think that he'd be more open to that sort of a situation.
I actually think they'd go even further than that. We will do 2 and 130 the second you point at us. And we promise it to you right now. But what the hope, I think, of the Warriors is if you get to the end of the year, depending on who's available and what they could go after, if that's not in ink yet, maybe Steph would want to take less because of who you could partner with him.
Especially if Kristaps makes it through healthy and Jimmy comes back. Jimmy's talking about the Christmas game, by the way. I don't know if you saw that, but he's looking at the December 25th game as his return date, his targeted, which is aggressive.
That's aggressive.
I'm not holding it against him, but
if George Kittle can play week 1, then Jimmy Butler can play on Christmas.
So if you get Moses and Jimmy and Kristaps and you get to the end of the year and you actually look like the team that you thought you were last November, then Steph might be incentivized to take 40.
You might already be doing this with Mila. If not, I know that you will be soon. You're an experienced parent, but other parents have coached me through this. Lovely Christy has done it many times. You know how you make it
their idea,
like it was their idea.
Yes,
you make the kid feel like it was their idea. Like, do you want to brush your teeth or do you want to go run 5 miles? Well, I want to brush my teeth. Well, that's a great idea. Let's go brush your teeth. So is that potentially what the Warriors could do here? Steph, you want your 2 and 130? You can have it on August 29th. You can have it on January 4th. You can have it on February 5th. You can have it on
March 6th. Yeah.
You can have your 2 and 130. We could also just wait, and if you want it, then you get it. But who knows what could develop between now and then that we could pair with you. How's that sound? And then genuinely go with whatever his answer is.
Right. And I would imagine that his answer will be, that he believes in them, the relationship he's had with, Dunleavy and Lacob.
Sure.
The relationship's got to be rock solid. And he saw what they did with Draymond Green, which is basically the same kind of thing where, we'll give you what you have coming to you, but if you wouldn't mind declining it, that way we can kind of shop around. We could shop around your money and see if we can do something.
I don't want to make it sound like I'm suggesting the Warriors do any funny business with Steph. I'm with you. Yeah, the Warriors are not going to do that. They're going to play this completely above board.
What funny business have they ever pulled in this era?
Never.
Right.
I mean, listen, we know the stories where people think that they were either wrong or underhanded or whatever, right? They didn't take Jordan Poole's side enough. They messed with Kuminga's minutes. But from a contractual standpoint, I mean, I think history now is shining on what they did give Jonathan. They gave Jonathan a 2-year, $45 million contract. Second year was an option.
Right.
But he's not going to get anywhere near that now.
Nor will Jordan Poole in his next stop. And you could say that they gave him that money in order to trade him, and I think that that's a big reason why, but that's NBA business. The bottom line is he got a 9-figure guaranteed contract, so I don't think they did him dirty.
No, I'm suggesting that you do this completely above board, but there might be multiple good reasons for it. And you only sort of put one of them out in the public.